Hello, how are you? I'm a little tired. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is January 15th, 2023. It's sunny and Sunday today. How are you spending Sunday today? Are you on a day off or working or taking Kyotsu test? Many high school students are taking Kyotsu test today, which is very important to take in order to enter university. The examinations to enter universities are usually divided into two sections, two parts. First, we have to take the Kyotsu test, which is held today, twice on two successive days, Saturday and Sunday usually. And after that, each university will hold their own examination. And whether or not you can pass will be evaluated by both the scores, by the total scores of the Kyotsu test and entrance examination of the university. The Kyotsu test was called Center Shiken in my generation. Have you taken Center Shiken? Center examination. The meteorological agency sounded an alarm over the torrential rain in the region. The city hall sounded an alarm over landsliding in the mountainside. The meteorological agency sounded an alarm over torrential rain. The meteorological agency sounded an alarm over heavy snowfall on the next day. Expected on the next day, on the following day. The meteorological agency sounded an alarm over the torrential rain. The meteorological agency sounded an alarm over expected aftershocks. The mistake was posed by a lack of preparation. Many mistakes will be posed by a lack of preparation. Many mistakes will be posed by a lack of preparation, a short of preparation. The car accident was posed by drunk driving of the driver. The car accident was posed by drunk driving. Flooding was posed to the region. Flooding was posed to the region. Tsunami was posed to the region. Tsunami was posed to northeastern part of Japan in 2011. Tsunami and big earthquake were posed to northeastern part of Japan in 2011. The big earthquake, the magnitude 9.0 earthquake and tsunami were posed to the northeastern part of Japan. .0 magnitude earthquake and tsunami struck northeastern part of Japan. Hit northeastern part of Japan. Northeastern part of Japan. Northeast part of Japan. You don't know how many struggles were posed to me. You don't know how many poses were posed to me. How many disasters, how many problems were posed to me. You don't know how many problems were posed to me. The number of problems posed to me were countless. The number of problems posed to me were countless. The number of problems posed to me are countless. The number of problems posed to me are countless. The pace of the accumulation of the snow is very fast. The pace of the snowfall accumulating on the street is so fast. It will be like a mountain tomorrow. Snow mountain tomorrow. It will be like a snow mountain tomorrow. It will be like a snow mountain tomorrow. In the first instance, you have to deal with the accumulating debt. In the first place, you have to cope with the accumulating debts. The estimated total price of the product will be around 10,000 yen. The estimated price for the drug will be about 2,000 yen per unit. The estimated number of customers into the shopping mall is not announced yet. The estimated term of the construction has yet to be announced. The estimated term for the construction of the shopping mall has yet to be announced. The estimated term for the construction has yet to be announced. The estimated term, duration, interval for the construction. The estimated term for the construction has yet to be announced. Even the estimated budget for 2023 has surpassed the one of the previous year. Even the rough estimated budget for the 2023 has already surpassed the one of the last year, of the previous year. Even the rough estimated budget for 2023 has already surpassed that of the previous years. How much is the tally of the number of customers? Each media broadcasted the tally of the votes. Each media broadcasted the tally of the votes to each political party. Or every media broadcasted the tally of the votes. All of the media broadcasted the tally of the votes. Number of votes. Tally of the votes. Polls. The tally of the votes will take time. The tally of the votes is expected to be announced by midnight. The tally of the votes is expected to be completed by tomorrow. The tally of the votes is expected to be completed by tomorrow. The tally of the votes, the tally of the number of votes is expected to be completed by tomorrow. Tally of the incomes, tally of the number of visitors, tally of the costs, tally of the cost spent on the project, tally of the cost spent on the project, tally of the cost spent on the project, tally of the cost spent on the project. Tally. How much is the rough tally of the expenses? How much is the rough estimate of the number of foreign visitors in January? How many is the rough estimated number of foreign tourists into Japan in the previous December? How many is the rough estimated number? How many were the estimated numbers of the foreign tourists into Japan in December? How many were the estimated numbers? How many was the estimated number of the foreign tourists in Japan in December? Can I know how many foreign tourists came to Japan in December? Has the number been announced? Has the number been announced? Has the number been announced? Has the number been announced yet? Not yet. Already. The tally of the votes is taking longer this time. The textbook is well known for how to understand. How to understand. I used to study with how to understand book. I used to study with some how to understand textbooks, which I regret now. Many people will avoid doing things which degrade themselves. Many people will avoid doing such things as challenging something crazy, which has a risk of degrading them. Degrade. The length of the length. The long usage will degrade the quality of the product. It's of course. The long usage will degrade the quality of the product. It's of course, which is of course. The long usage will degrade the quality of the product. The long usage will degrade the quality of the product. But using the product carefully with attention will make the degradation much slower. Degrade. I don't want to degrade myself. I don't want to degrade my playing skill. Many things will degrade with time because they wear out. They will wear out with time. Many things will degrade with time. The corruption degraded the celebrity. The corruption degraded the reputation of 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 the celebrity. Years of usage will degrade the quality of the product. Years of usage will degrade the quality of the product. Years of usage will degrade the quality of the product. Years of usage will degrade the quality of the product. Years of product. Years of usage will degrade the quality of the product. Years of product. Years of usage will degrade the quality of the product. Degrade. 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 Years of usage will degrade the quality of the product. Years of usage will degrade the quality of the product. Years of usage will degrade the product. Degrade the product. Years of usage will degrade the product. Years of usage will degrade the product. Years of usage will degrade the product. Degrade the product. Years of usage will degrade the product. Degrade. Years of usage will degrade the product. Years of usage will degrade the product. Years of usage will degrade the product. Overwork will degrade efficiency. Overwork, working overtime, will make us degrade our efficiency. Working overtime will make us degrade our efficiency, work efficiency. Working overtime will make us degrade 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 efficiency. Working overtime will degrade efficiency. Working overtime with tiredness will degrade efficiency. Working overtime with tiredness will degrade efficiency. Working overtime with tiredness and exhaustion will make us degrade efficiency. Working overtime with exhaustion will degrade efficiency. Degrade. Working overtime with exhaustion will degrade efficiency. Working overtime with exhaustion will make us degrade efficiency. Working overtime with exhaustion will degrade efficiency. Working overtime 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 will degrade efficiency. Only if he had obeyed the rule, he could have avoided the collision. He could have avoided the collision. He could have avoided the collision. Had he adhered to the rule, he had not. He would not have had a collision. In order to avoid collision with anyone else, I try to take a neutral. I try to be neutral. In order to avoid collisions with anyone, everybody, I try to be neutral. If he had obeyed the rules, the collision would not have happened. Had he obeyed the rule, the accident would not have happened. Had he listened to our advice carefully, had he listened to our advice carefully, he could have avoided the incident. He could have avoided the incident. He could have avoided the accident. He could have avoided the collision. How many members are there in the European Union? Do you know? Do you know how many countries belong to European Union? Do you know how many countries belong to European Union? Do you know how many times I went to Tokyo Disneyland? Do you know how many times I went to Universal Studios Japan? Do you know how many times I went to the cafe? Do you know how much I devoted myself to getting the qualification? Do you know how much I devoted myself, precious time, many things to getting the qualification? Do you know how much I devoted? Do you know how much cost, effort, time I devoted to getting the qualification? Have you heard of European Space Agency? Are you familiar with United Nations? Are you a member of the United Nations? Have you worked in the United Nations? Have you engaged in United Nations? Have you been engaged in United Nations or European Union? Have you heard of European Space Agency? Have you heard of European Space Agency? Have you ever heard of European Space Agency? European Space Agency. European Space Agency. A decade has passed since I quit the job. A decade has passed. A decade has passed since I quit the job. 20 years equal to 2 decades. 20 years equal to 2 decades. 30 years equal to 3 decades. The drastic revolution might be to destroy all the system. Do not destroy kids' dreams. The cold wind coming from Ohotsuku area in summer, called Yamase, can do harm to the vegetation in Tohoku region. The cold wind coming from Ohotsuku area in Hokkaido, called Yamase, can do harm to the vegetation in Tohoku area, northern eastern part of Japan. Many human activities are harming the nature, ecosystem, and so on. The mass cutting down, the mass cut of the trees are affecting some animals, harming the habitat of some animals. The mass cut of trees, the mass cutting of the trees are harming some animals, harming the habitat of some animals. The mass cutting of the trees harming habitat, doing harm to the habitat of some animals. The mass cutting of trees is harming some animals. A series of lack of sleep will harm us. A series of lack of sleep will harm us. A series of exhaustion will harm us. The atopic dermatitis has been harming me since I was born. Some diseases have been harming me since I was born. Atopic dermatitis, eczema, has been affecting me, having a badly affect me, having a bad influence on me, having a bad effect on me. The atopic dermatitis, eczema, has been having a bad effect on me. The atopic dermatitis, eczema, has been harming me since I was born, doing harm to me since I was born. The atopic dermatitis, eczema, has been doing harm to me since I was born. Atopic dermatitis, eczema, has been harming me since I was born. Atopic dermatitis, eczema, has been doing harm to me. Atopic dermatitis has been harming me since I was born. There are many factors harming me. There are many elements harming me. There are many causes harming my allergy. There are many factors harming my allergy. Atopic dermatitis has been harming me since I was born. Atopic dermatitis has been harming me since I was born. Atopic dermatitis has been harming me since I was born. Atopic dermatitis has been harming me since I was born. Atopic dermatitis has been harming me since I was born. Atopic dermatitis has been harming me since I was born. Atopic dermatitis has been harming me since I was born. The mass cutting of trees are harming the habitat of some animals. The mass cutting of the trees are harming some animals. The pandemic harmed many people. The pandemic harmed many people. The pandemic did harm to many people. The pandemic did harm to many people. The pandemic harmed me. The pandemic harmed many people as well as me. Who is the director of the animation? I was promoted to the director. In the board of directors, some secret things are discussed. In the board of directors, very important things are discussed. Are you a member of the board of directors? Are you a member of the board of directors? Are you a member of the board of directors? Are you a member of the board of directors? Are you a member of the board of directors? Are you a member of the board of directors? In the board of directors, some secret things were discussed. Are you a member of the board of directors? Some celebrities are famous worldwide. Some celebrities are very famous worldwide. Do you want to obtain worldwide recognition? Worldwide status? Do you want to obtain worldwide status? Worldwide recognition? Do you want to obtain worldwide recognition? I hope my effort will be blessed, admitted, acknowledged. I hope my effort will bear fruit in the future. I hope my effort will bear fruit in the future, as early as tomorrow. Some people some people believe that honesty will make good in the long run. Some people believe that honesty will make good in the long run. The kids made believe that they were dinosaurs. The kids were making believe that they were superheroes. The kid was making believe that he was a superhero, like in the animation. The suspect made believe that he didn't know about the accident at all. The kid made believe that he was not involved in the cheating on the examination. The student made believe that he was a superstar. The kid made believe that she was a wizard with a stick. The kid made believe that she was a wizard with a stick, magic stick. The kid was making believe that she was a wizard. The kid was making believe that she was a wizard. Some people believe that honesty will make good in the future, in the long run. Some people believe that honesty will make good in the future. Some people believe that honesty will make good in the future. I hope my effort will bear fruit in the future. Our mission is to make impossible mission possible. Our mission is to make impossible things possible. The mission was not carried out. When are you going to carry out? When are you going to carry out the mission? When are you going to carry out the mission? In past, some missionaries came to Japan to spread Christianity, especially in southern island of Kyushu. Some missionaries came to Japan in end of 16th century to spread the Christianity, especially southern part of Kyushu. Some European people came to Japan for missionary purpose. Some European people came to Japan in the end of 16th century and early 17th century for missionary purpose. Missionary. Some feudal lords in the past also became a Christian in the end of 16th and early 17th century, because some missionaries entered Japan to spread the Christianity. Missionary. Missionary. Some missionaries came to Japan in the end of 16th and early 17th century. Some European people came to Japan for missionary purpose. Some European people came to Japan for missionary purpose. And the government prohibited European people, not only European, but and the government in the past prohibited people from European countries from spreading the Christianity in Japan. In early 17th century. Until the prohibition, some missionaries came to Japan and spread Christianity. Some European people came to Japan for missionary purposes. Missionary purpose. Some European people came to Japan in end of 16th century for missionary purpose. Missionary purpose. I cannot hear the alarm ringing, alarm sounding. I sometimes fail to hear the morning alarm ringing. I sometimes fail to hear the morning alarm ringing because I was so deeply asleep. I was so asleep. I was fell asleep so deeply. I couldn't hear the alarm sound. I sometimes failed to hear the alarm sound. I sometimes failed to hear the alarm sound. I sometimes failed to alarm sound. Failed to hear alarm sound because I fell asleep so deeply. Because I fall asleep so deeply. I sometimes fail to hear the alarm sound because I fall asleep so deeply sometimes. Alarm bell. The meteorological agency sounded alarm over torrential rain. The meteorological agency sounded alarm over torrential rain. Intensive torrential rain. The meteorological agency sounded an alarm over intensive snowfall in the middle of the midnight. The meteorological agency sounded an alarm. The meteorological agency sounded an alarm. The meteorological agency sounded an alarm. The alarm was sounded. Tsunami alarm was sounded. Typhoon alarm was sounded in the region. Typhoon alarm was sounded in the region. When typhoon alarm is sounded, schools and many things are cancelled, which pleased me because I don't have to go to a school. I was waiting for typhoon alarm to be sounded because if the alarm is sounded, school used to be cancelled. School became cancelled. I was waiting for typhoon alarm to be issued because with the issue, schools are cancelled, which means we don't have to go to school. I was really waiting for the typhoon alarm to be sounded before I'm commuted, because the alarm means we didn't have to go to a school for emergency. I was really waiting for typhoon alarm to be sounded from the school before I went to school. I was really waiting for typhoon alarm to be sounded from school for cancellation, which means I can sleep longer or can day off on the day. Typhoon alarm is has not been removed yet. Has not been lifted yet. Typhoon alarm 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 has not been lifted yet. The bell alarmed us. The breaking news alarmed us. We were alarmed of the danger by the bell sound. We were alarmed of the danger by the bell sound. We were alarmed of the danger of the typhoon by the message. There are many devices alarming us. There are many signs alarming us. There are many signs alarming us. If I look back on the days, the sign was the omen for the serious disease. If I look back on the days, looking back on the days now, the sign was the omen for the serious disease. If I look back on these days, if I look back on the days, the pain on my the place between neck and shoulder was the omen for serious disease. The problems in our body will alarm us. It means alarming us. The problems in our body is alarming us for problems, for a reason. We feel pain when we get injured to alarm us. We feel pain. We have sense of touch to feel and to notice the danger. Our body notifies us of the danger. We have a sense of touch alarming us to alarm us. If it is too painful, we will try to avoid that. So the pain also alarms us. The pain also alarms us. I'm usually alarmed by information from the internet. I think we are usually alarmed by the news through the internet. I think we are alarmed by information through the internet. I think most of us are alarmed by information from the internet. From the internet. As soon as I heard the alarm, as soon as I heard the alarm, I heard the alarm, I heard the alarm. As soon as I heard the alarm, I went out of the house. As soon as I heard the alarm, I went home. The meteorological agency sounded alarm, sounded an alarm, sounded an alarm. The meteorological agency sounded alarm, sounded an alarm, sounded an alarm, sounded an alarm, sounded an alarm. There are many electrical devices or other gadgets alarming us. A sense of touch on our body will alarm us. A sense of touch of our body will alarm us. For example, when we touch very hot kettle, we get surprised and to avoid the conduction again. The bell sound alarmed us of the approaching typhoon. The bell sound and announcement from the city hall through the cone alarmed us over the approaching typhoon. The announcement through the cone by city hall alarmed us of the approaching typhoon. We were alarmed by the announcement from the city hall. We were alarmed of the approaching typhoon by the announcement from the city hall. I'm usually alarmed by the website. I'm usually alarmed of typhoon information. I'm usually alarmed of typhoon through the internet. I'm usually alarmed of typhoon or other problems through the internet. I think many people will be alarmed by information through the internet. I think many people will be alarmed of a danger of a natural disaster through the internet. The endless coughing alarmed me of serious disease. The city hall alarmed us of the approaching typhoon. The city hall alarmed us of the approaching typhoon. The city hall alarmed us of the approaching typhoon through the amplifier. It was not until yesterday that I was alarmed of using the website. It was not until 1 year after the usage that I was alarmed of the usage of the heater. It was not until 1 year after the usage that I was alarmed of the usage of the heater. It was not until 10 years after the usage of the medicine It was not until 10 years after the usage that I was alarmed of the long-term usage of the medicine. It was not until 10 years after the usage that I was alarmed of the danger of the long-term usage of the medicine. It was not until 10 years after the usage that I was alarmed of the danger by using the medicine for a long time. The electric company alarmed us of the danger of the heater through the commercial, and they are trying to take the product back with compensation. The company was apologizing for the inconvenience and in the convenience to get the faulty product from the customers, because the customers are alarmed of the danger. The customers are alarmed of the danger by using a heater. The customers of the product are alarmed of the long-term usage of the heater. The car has the feature, the function. The car has the function to alarm us when the car approaches the front car so close by sounding the bell. The car has the function to alarm the driver when the car approaches the front car so close. The car has a feature or a function to alarm the driver when the car approaches the front car so close. The car has the function to alarm the driver when the car approaches the front car so close. The car has the function to alarm the driver when the car approaches the car so close. The car has the function to alarm the driver when the car approaches the obstacle too close. The car has the function to alarm the driver when the car approaches an object so close by sounding the bell. The car has a function to alarm the driver when the car approaches the object so close. The car has a function to alarm the driver when the car approaches an object so close by sounding the bell, by beeping. The car has a function to alarm the driver when the car approaches an object so close by beeping. The population has been decreasing at an alarming rate, at an alarming rate, at an alarming rate. Some countries are growing at an alarming rate, pace, at an alarming pace. Some countries are growing at an alarming rate. Some countries are growing at an alarming rate. Japan grew at an alarming rate after the World War II. Some countries are growing at an alarming rate. Driving the coastline is alarming. Driving on the coastline is alarming. Driving along 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 the coastline is alarming. The alarming appetite of the customer took the chef by surprise. Tremendous alarming appetite of the customer took the chef by surprise. The alarming appetite of the customer took the chef by surprise. The alarming appetite of the customer surprised the chef. 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 Incredible alarming appetite of the customer surprised the chef. 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 The alarming appetite of the customer surprised the chef. Some kids show alarming growth of some subjects. It can be art, mathematics, calendar calculation, and so on. They are called gifted. Some students show alarming knowledge or skill in particular area, particular field. Some people show alarming skills or knowledge in a particular field, although they are not good at the other fields. Some people show alarming skills or knowledge in a particular field, in a particular field. In a particular field. Alarming number of foreign tourists came to Japan in 2019. I'd like to achieve alarming feat. I'd like to achieve alarming feats. I'd like to achieve alarming rate. I'd like to achieve alarming feats. I'd like to achieve alarming feats. I'd like to achieve alarming feats. The bell alarmed us of the approaching typhoon. The bell sound alarmed us of the approaching typhoon. The announcement from the city hall through the cone alarmed us of the approaching typhoon and asked us to prepare for that beforehand. Early enough. The announcement from the city hall alarmed us of the approaching typhoon and urged us to prepare for that enough early. The population has been decreasing at an alarming rate. The population has been decreasing at an alarming rate. The population has been decreasing at an alarming rate. The population has been decreasing at an alarming rate. The population has been decreasing at an alarming rate. Driving along the coastline is alarming. The team is alarming. It's very strong. Rumored to be very strong. The match with the team B should be alarming because the team B is rumored to be very strong. We should be alarming when we drive. We cannot be too alarming when we drive a car. We cannot be too careful. We cannot be careful too much. We cannot be too careful when we drive a car. We cannot be careful enough. We cannot be careful enough. We cannot be careful enough when we drive a car. We cannot be careful too much. We cannot be too careful when we swim in the sea. When we swim in the sea. I cannot say thank you too much. I cannot say thank you too much. I cannot say thank enough when we appreciate it. The team B is alarming. The examination is alarming. The person is alarming because he looks not normal. Please do not make light of the examination. You should be alarming. Please do not look down on the examination. It is not easy at all. You shouldn't look down on. You shouldn't make light of. Make light of. You shouldn't make light of. You shouldn't underestimate the examination. You shouldn't underestimate the examination. You shouldn't underestimate the examination. You shouldn't make light of the examination. You shouldn't make light of the examination. You should be alarming. 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 The masks were sold at an alarming rate soon after the pandemic. The masks were sold. The masks were selling at an alarming rate soon after the pandemic. Still maybe. The masks were selling at an alarming rate soon after the pandemic. The alarming appetite of the customer surprised the chef. The alarming appetite of the customer took the chef by surprise. The alarming appetite of the customer surprised the chef. 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 Surprised chef. Surprised the chef. Surprised the chef. Surprised the chef. Surprised the chef. The alarming appetite of the customer surprised the chef. 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 Surprised chef. Surprised the chef. Surprised the chef. Surprised the chef. Surprised the chef. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time.